Harrowing goodbyes are familiar scenes in Gaza. Fathers kissing their dead children as Israeli attacks continue. In the last 24 hours, 107 Palestinians have been killed. Here, in the eastern part of Rafah, another 24 fatalities add to the death toll.
They killed the children while they were sleeping. It's their fate. They were sleeping. We found the house collapsing on us. We have nothing, thanks God. It is aimless. While the whole world is watching and no one cares, we have no one on our side other than God, and we thank God.
Indeed, the world watches on. Following the International Court of Justice issuing an emergency ruling alluding to the genocidal acts in Gaza, the onslaught sees no signs of ending, fueling anger on the streets across the globe.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Hundreds of thousands of people marched through central London, calling for a ceasefire.
I've been covering these protests since the very beginning, and I'm still astounded to see the momentum simply isn't wavering on the streets of central London. But today there's this growing sense of anger brewing on the streets, directed at the British government. Organisers tell me that the UK isn't just turning a blind eye to what's happening in Palestine, but is actually complicit.
Israel is still continuing to unleash a genocide. We've been calling it a genocide for weeks, and now, of course, Israel has been formally charged with that in the world's highest court, the ICJ. And yet still, and this is why people march, still our government is complicit in that. It still fails to call for a permanent ceasefire. It still sells weapons to Israel to allow it to continue to unleash destruction.
More than 1 million hungry, cold and sick displaced Palestinians now await Israel's planned attack on Rafah, their final refuge. Global protesters call on their respective governments to act.
Our political leaders have basically said it's okay for children to be killed, for hospitals to be bombed, and so I'm here today to basically say that's not okay, and that our leaders need to listen and call for a ceasefire.
This is the only way I can keep some hope that somebody's going to do something by being part of a community of people who object and resist and show their distress.
As an expected Israeli army operation looms, protests like these are expected to get bigger and bigger as demonstrators across the world continue to stand in solidarity with the Palestinians. Shadia Edwards-Dashti, TRT World, London.